All right, references upon request. All right, we are requesting some great references from career advice expert Joni Daniels. So if you're looking for work and you call me and say, can I use you as a reference? What do I do?
Tell me about the job you want me to be used as a reference for.
So I don't say, oh yeah, I love you, Joni, I'll do it. You
No.
don't say, you don't jump right into the
You
boat.
shouldn't. You shouldn't.
No kidding. So who is?
Right. When you think about references, you should always be thinking about who should I be using as references. Past employers, colleagues, clients, customers, teachers, people who are familiar with how you work.
I guess I jumped the first hurdle asking. I mean, you have to figure out, you got to ask first before you can put them on paper.
Right, you're right. You really should ask people if they'd be a reference for you and tell them why you want them to be a reference for you. You want to secure their permission. You don't want to just give out their name.
And you say prepare them. Give them a call and I'd like to use you as a reference.
Right, and also tell them this is the kind of job I'm interviewing for. These are the kinds of questions they might ask you. These are the kinds of skills I want you to promote about me, especially if you think the employer has some concerns. You might say, you know, I know they're concerned that I'm really young. It would be helpful if you could speak to that because you know that I'm very mature in spite of my age.
And stay in touch.
Yeah, once you've asked someone to be your reference, keep in touch with them. If you're going to use their name, even a quick email saying, you know, I gave your name to such and such company. They may be contacting you. I just wanted to give you a heads up.
I like that.
Every
That's
6
good.
months, every year. You don't want to just use people that you haven't really talked to in years or you know, it's just not fair.
You say choose trustworthy references.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you use people who you can choose. You can really trust what they're going to say when you're not around. You don't want to give out a reference and the person says, oh, Jamie Costello? Yeah, he's good, but you know what? I'm pretty good too, and we should talk about that job. You know, or you don't want to say, oh, Jamie, yeah, let me tell you something he did when I was working with him, so goofy. Because if you can't trust what they're going to say, they're not going to serve as a very good reference.
And not on the resume.
No.
Don't put it on the resume.
No, people assume you're going to be able to give references, so you don't have to advertise it on your resume. When they want references, they'll ask you, and you want to choose references specifically for the job.
Should companies call references?
Absolutely.
All of them?
Well, not necessarily all of them, but they should definitely call references, and they should also try and be creative and come up with some of their own.
If you put down, of course they're going to call your work and find out what kind of employee you were.
Unless you ask them not to.
You can't ask them not to.
Sure.
But if they end up doing it, the person, yes, they've worked here. Click. That's all you do. Uh-oh, you get a good sign over that
well,
one.
you want to have some control over it as the applicant, so you can say, you know, you might not want to talk to this person. They might not be the best reference, but I can give you the name of this client that we worked with. They're really familiar with how I work and the kind of service I provide.
How important are references?
They can make the difference.
Okay.
You can get some information from someone about whether they show up every day or whether they're cheerful or whether their attitude is good, stuff that you might not ask. And that can really, you know, shift the bias of an employer.
Do companies go around that reference list and they call their own, knowing that, you know, this person may have stumbled into this person one time or two?
Sometimes. Companies get very creative because you can't give a reference that's going to actually damage someone's chances to get a job. All you really are legally required to do is say, yes, they worked here from here to here,
right.
You know, and this was their title and this was their salary. But if you're creative, you can get a lot of information when you ask questions about someone's work style, their skill level.
One more question. Do you ever hear anybody getting in trouble for giving a bad reference?
Yeah. They said something that really screwed up the opportunity, and how could you say that? And
Right.
That's how some lawsuits get started.
All right, Joni, thank you so much. She's
You're
a good
welcome.
reference, isn't she? All right, Megan.
She's the best. More information at jonidaniels.com. Thanks, guys. All right, we're following a developing story.